Hello everyone, and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 93. Today is Sunday, June 28th, 2015, and I'm glad you could join me today. It's only going to get hotter, so I decided to record now. I felt like a little mini goal for myself to finish something up before I podcasted. And I'm like, man, I could fly it too. And then I'm like, you know what? It's going to become more uncomfortable as the day goes on. We've reached the point. It's not true summer yet, because true summer means that there is no time, day or night, when it is comfortable to be outside. But we are to the point now where the hottest part of the day is about 5 p.m. So it's, I think, like 1:30 now or something like that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to record now. It's not like I'm going to finish anything else. We'll just call it good. Okie doke. And you know what I was super duper excited about? I think it was, 2 or 3 weeks ago I was complaining about how I could no longer upload photos from Instagram to Ravelry as easy anymore. There's an upload from Instagram button now. It's so awesome. Like, you could upload Instagram photos from your phone. Yeah. Really nice. So I'm very excited about that particular feature because they really locked it down and that's pretty cool. So I think I'll start with the finished object. I actually finished this earlier this week and then sat down and then wove in all of the ends. So this is a Mary J. Mucklestone pattern. It is the Andean ear flap hat. I was working on this last week because recorded really late because I kept on wanting to knit a little bit more. So, ear flap hat complete. It's pretty big. I don't know if it's the case where, like, looking at the weights of the yarn, it looked like it was a worsted project, but maybe it was a fingering project and I just sort of made up crap. So, I'm not really sure entirely how to wear it because it's fairly large. So, ear flaps. Hat has like a couple of really cool details that weren't really apparent in the pattern. So things like basically the little circle that it forms at the top, and then how the motif stays the same, but then is a scaled down version of the motif. So I busted a lot of stash for this one. Oh, I was going to add up all my stash house totals. I totally forgot. So I busted a lot of stash for this guy, and then I ended up running out of this yellow here, and so then I subbed in maybe this slightly lighter yellow color for the top in order to get everything finished off. But I used up all of the gray, pretty much all of the green, and then all of this yellow. So good busting there. And then I have all of the colors that I'd used in the hat incorporated into the ear flap. Now it probably, what is it? This was probably the right side for the ear flap garter, but it's not the end of the row if this is the right side. And now I'm noticing that there are little ends that are peeking out, so maybe I'll have to hide those a little bit better, but no big deal there. So this is a part of the SSK cal. The last cal was for Mary Jane Mucklestone. And then I'm going to be donating this hat for the Scared Bennett Center. So all the acrylic hats that I've been making recently are all going to be donations. And I tried to make it so that this is sort of ridiculous, but it isn't distinctly girly. The rest of my acrylic is very girly, so I think I just busted a move on my guy hat acrylic sorts of things. So it has been a lot of fun to knit hats. I have far too many hats at this point, so I don't tend to knit them for myself anymore. So there's my FO. So this was 160.7 yards. I don't remember how many meters. I'll have to add it up later today. But it'll be super easy to post it. Super easy. I might have to try posting from my phone and see how it goes. So that is that. And we'll see what sort of mess this makes, so I guess it's not going to be too bad. I ended up casting on something new. Ew, I'm in part of a row. Oh well. It's so small on me right now, it doesn't even really matter. So, I decided to cast on the Fragile Hearts pattern. It's a brunette pattern. I am using my Madeline Tosh Maria Light, which is a single in the Cousteau colorway. And then it's making this so I decided to go with the garter option. There were a bunch of different options that you could pick. So you could have an all-over lace, a stockinette body, or a garter body, and I decided to go with the garter. And I'm really loving how it's turning out so far. Like, can you even... The trouble with the Cousteau colorway is that digital recording just does it no justice. This is an analog-only colorway, and it is amazing! So I'm really digging how it's turning out so far. I tried working on it a little bit yesterday, but I was outside and it was just like hot to touch. It was like I couldn't knit with it outside. I'll probably get to one of the stopping points of the pattern and weigh my yarn and figure out where I want to go from there. It definitely calls for lace weight, and I do not have lace weight. So, I know this is probably on the lighter end of fingering, but still definitely fingering. So I will have to make a choice then about what sort of size I want it to be. And I'm living dangerous and not even putting in markers. I might be filled with regret later. It was just an inconvenient time for me to add markers when they started asking for it. And it's a very different shape than I am used to, so it's a very different set of increases. This is definitely a true crescent. So I don't know if I would... Well, we'll see how it turns out. If it's very wearable, then that might give me ideas for possibly my own design of a crescent-shaped shawl, because it's very workable how it's being done, if that makes any sense. So, very pretty. And this was a pattern that Jose gave to me for my birthday, I think not this year, but last year, so I'm glad I'm finally getting around to it. So, thank you so much. So, I'm excited to be working on it. I haven't worked on it yet today. I don't think I've knit anything today, actually. I might need to fix that, we'll see. It's been a quiet afternoon of, or quiet morning and afternoon of watching podcasts. I've been watching the Stockinette Zombies. Get my Minnesota on or something like that. I actually did spend a summer in Rochester, Minnesota, so it ruined my make fun of Canadians and Yoopers accent, unfortunately, because Minnesota, as opposed to woot woot. There is a subtle difference. So the other thing that is getting some love right now. Oh, I have some random fiber that ended up in my bag. Meh. Now that the singles are done, I don't think that's going to get spun. So I am working on the short row shuffle socks. Ugh, can't say that fast. I had like some sort of boo-boo. I don't even know what happened, but I somehow got off and I was not doing the short rows correctly anymore, and then I like unknit until it was fixed, which was pretty much the entire duration of the movie Fargo. Apparently the Dear Sweet Lovely One had never seen it before, or hadn't seen it in its entirety. So we watched that last night while I unknit sock. I don't know if I managed, I think, to knit past where I had the problem though, so it shouldn't be too bad. I don't think. I'm just thinking about where it is that I left off on this. I think I left off in a rather strange location. Oh, I'm purling back. Okay. Maybe? All of a sudden yarn color change? Oh, well, whatever. This is perhaps the danger of it all. I am really loving how it's knitting up. It's making this cool diagonal stripe pattern. which is very different than, you know, the normal style pooling that you're seeing on the cuff. I think it's the right size. I haven't pulled it off to try it on, but it's definitely much closer to the right size than what it was before. I think it's just the case where my gauge is all loosey-goosey because I'm purling. And I know for a fact my pearls are much looser than my knits. So, gauge in the ground is not gauge flat. Remember that. So it's going along. It does lots of stretch, just basically stockinette. So I might end up making this pattern for the Deer State Level 1 as well. Just because it's a cool way to do pooling, and then it's a fairly vanilla sock, so it should fit his stupid skinny chicken legs. What I'm not showing is the Union Jack Argyle socks. It's looking like the odds are poor that I'll be done by the end of the month for those. The yarn is in the mail for real now. No, it turned out my mother-in-law wasn't feeling very good this week, so, and she didn't have her minion, aka my father-in-law, stick it in the mail for her, so. So as such, that'll be arriving Monday. Maybe I can bust a move on those socks. It would be lovely to have them done, and even more lovely to have them done in the time frame of the cowl. So that'd be what, 2 days of knitting time to work that. We shall see. It's actually pretty comfy out right now. I'm sort of surprised. Okay. So, but those were my only knitting works in progress right now. The odds of casting on something new appear to be low at the moment. It's getting to be really super duper hot, so the knitting mojo is probably a bit low right now. The spinning mojo has been a bit higher, so for whatever reason, that has been the case. So, so I ended up finishing singles. I decided that it would be good to just finish these up for the podcast today. The plan is to Navajo ply these. This is from my Spin the Bin. It is the Chamomile Connection. It is 100% pull worth, and I got it for like a freaking song. Like, I think it was $11 for 4 ounces, so steal, I say. While I was spinning it, I was thinking that it wasn't, strictly speaking, my normal colors. There's definitely a lot more green in it than I think I would normally prefer for things, but I think I was trying to get a little bit out of my comfort zone. I don't know. What I was thinking in episode 0, who knows? 2 years ago, such craziness. So the plan is Navajo ply. It's probably, who knows what weight it'll turn out to be. But I did want to practice Navajo plying on my wheel in the JC Boggs way, because it was a lot of fun to Navajo ply the death stuff. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be sort of a gradient sort of thing, because I did just spin it end to end, so there should be nice long color repeats on this, which maybe made it less than inspiring spinning. I was mostly spinning while watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So we ended up getting the month trial of Amazon Prime, and so the Deer State Level 1 isn't so excited about watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I'm enjoying watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so it continues. So that is the story there. It's pretty soft. So spun this on my spindle, which was a change of pace, because lately I've been a little bit wheel obsessed. So that was nice. I think the hope was to have spun it, back in May, in mid-May, but I finally got around to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick a new spinning project on the wheel, or if I'm going to get started early on Tour de Fleece spinning. I guess that is a good segue. Well, whatever, I need to get this onto the wheel and off the wheel in that time, so maybe it'll work out just fine. So, segue time! So, Tour de Fleece, and sort of sash positions as well. All at the same time. So I looked it up. It starts the 4th of July this year. In the past, sometimes it started a little bit into June, so it was a valid question. And so I ended up getting one thing that I had in the mail last week, which was the the last of the chocolate Shetland fleece that exists. So this is some of the prettier stuff, for lack of a better word. This is the pretty good looking stuff, and I did a lot of work to get most of the hay out of it, and now the next thing is to split it into locks before I wash it. It smells a little bit funky. I'm trying to think of what it smells like. It's almost like a strain, like it smells a bit soapy, for lack of a better word. It has that soapy, sheepy funk to it still. But I wanted to get it as clean as humanly possible beforehand, just so that it would be way easier for whenever that time comes. Now, some of it I probably should just toss. So this is what some of the not so clean looks like. So there's lots of hay, and there are definitely seconds in here, and it's pretty special. And to be quite frank, I don't need a lot of it, but I want to prep up all of the good stuff as best as I can. So, and I haven't weighed it yet, so I don't actually know how much of it I have, but here's some of the stuff. This one has a bit more hay in the backside of it that I still need to finish working, but it has those nice long, like, look at how long that particular lock is. So it's just sort of the case where I want to salvage as much as I can out of it. I have a pretty decent pile of stuff that I've just thrown out already, and I swept the porch so that it would be a little bit easier because there was just hay all over the place. This has been fleece prep central. I spent probably about an hour just trying to get most of the hay out as possible. The next order of business will be to take some of the really nice stuff and then, what is it? Take the nice stuff, break it into locks before I wash it, because it's just going to be a royal mess before then. And then it's boiling hot water and Dawn soap until it's clean. Until it is prepared. So I'm not entirely sure that I will have it all clean before the start of the tour. And I don't even have the rest of the clean stuff prepped yet, but at least I know that in order to make, I think it is my last 2 bags of Rologs, that I can start dipping into this stuff, and that I'll probably end up grading it out in a similar way. So it'll be the case where I'll break off all the locks and stick them in a pile, and then I'll break off the really short stuff and stick it in the shorter locks and stick it in a pile, and then have the diffuse fluff that I know is long, it just doesn't really have a lock structure anymore, into a separate pile and wash it all and go from there. But then I can probably go ahead and clean, or just toss out the clean, really short crap, because I'm not going to need to use it, and that'll be fantastic. So, in terms of, but I think this is going to make it really comfortable for me in terms of yardage. I was a little bit concerned that I was going to run out yardage-wise, and this way I know I'm going to be fine. So that's really exciting, because there's whatever, two really big glomps. Excuse me again, sorry. So 2 decent-sized chunks of stuff that are going to be plenty for the fleece. So I don't know if I'm going to manage to spin all of it now that I have the whole entire fleece. I have it all now. But I will try very hard to finish up the pound that I need for the pound-a-thon spin. So that's my plan so far. That might turn out that the best way to make sure that I finish prepping the fleece is to make sure I don't have a spinning project on the wheel, so then I'm spending my spinning time doing that instead of working on some new pretty. And with that, I think I will be nearly done with my bin. I have one more fiber, or one more commercially prepared fiber left in my bin, which is also from the Albuquerque Fiber Fiesta 2013. And that is a BFL silk blend, and that's definitely going on the wheel. Definitely, definitely. So, the other thing that I need to be careful about is I need to be careful that I have all of my bobbins cleared, because I only have 4, I have 4 normal size bobbins and I have 1 jumbo bobbin. So I want to make sure that whatever I put on runs through quickly, if that makes any sense, because I'm taking 2 spinning classes at SSK, so the class list came out. I'm taking softcore spinning, which is different than hardcore spinning, and then I'm taking worsted spinning. And the hope would be just to work with someone and just soak up the knowledge, so to speak. I don't think I really want to take more classes. On one hand, the classes are really super duper cheap. On the other hand, I sort of want to make sure that I also have downtime as well. I always hate it, like when I get scheduled to the guilds and then I can't do what I want. I think I can add until the day of, so if it turns out my class experiences are amazing and I want to take more, then the option is available. Okay, so there is still quite a lot of fleece prep to do, and I'll probably be sitting here shaking up my fleece while waiting for the podcast to finish up. I mean, that needs as much help as it can get, honestly, because there's a reason why I didn't end up picking up some of it, because it was just like so full of hay. I just didn't even want to deal with it after cleaning the first parts of the fleece. So, but whatever. I have the rest of it. The parts that are most covered in hay are also not necessarily looking to be very good parts of the fleece either, so I could just ruthlessly skirt it and call it a day. But I think that's everything I wanted to share with you guys this week. So all sorts of fun stuff going on. Oh, I remembered something. I think I'll also have to do some addition. No, it won't be too bad. I'll be recording again July 5th. That shouldn't be a problem. Okay. I might cast on like a really big crazy cowl. I was like looking through my stash yarn and then saw that I had some worsted wool that I had won, or my local yarn shop in Indiana has a Christmas exchange every year, and I picked the biggest bag, which I think just resulted in me getting a lot of yarn, which I wasn't super duper excited about. So I'm thinking about turning it into some really big, chunky cowls, and then donating it to the Scarlet Bennett Center. The only trouble is I think it is feltable wool, so that's going to be ever a hard one. So I'm not entirely sure, but it's sort of the case where they aren't really my colors, and it isn't really my normal weight that I gravitate to knit with, and it's been hanging out in the stash for a long time. So I've been feeling really great about busting some stuff that's been there for a long time. I've been wondering if I need to break out my oldest skein of sock yarn. Obviously, I don't know. It's not like I've been having great luck knitting socks lately, though. But maybe I'll do short row shuffle or something like that with it. So we shall see. But yeah, so that's a possibility, but I'm not sure. The other thing is that I just have to laugh a little bit about. This is actually the 1 year anniversary of being in Texas. So, or pretty close to it. I think I landed this time, or whatever, yesterday of last year. So far, so good. I'm still surviving. I might be slightly melty, but still holding in there. So I just had to laugh a little bit about that, because whatever. It's sort of hard to believe how quick the years passed, and so that is the story there. So I will talk to you guys again next week, and I hope you all have a great week. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.